I know God blessed me in so many ways. I know that I've accomplished a lot. But I know at the same token, many people have seen in me a source of inspiration. And I'm like, let me not keep it private. Let me be a source of inspiration to many. I don't know how many that I will be able to touch. But I know if I put those words out there in the form of a book, then I'll be able to touch many lives. I was so happy when a friend of my friend who happened to have a 12 years old son wrote a whole paragraph about the take out, he got from the book, and wrote his mother a letter. And the father shared that letter with me. And he said, now I choose to be a better child because I only can imagine if I were her age at that time and not having my mother, what life would have been for me. And that's the whole purpose. This book is just to empower and encourage people not to get comfortable with where they are, or not to blame life on everybody else, not to do the right thing. Because in general, life will always be not fair. Life will always be hard. Life will always be harsh. People will always be evil. But at the end of the day, the choice you make is yours.
That is so interesting. In chapter 2, I'm going to merge 2 chapters in the book. I'm not going to talk about the whole book because I'm really advising all the viewers to go on Amazon, go everywhere you can get the book. Barnes and Nobles, just go there and get a copy of this book. That's exactly what I'm advising you to do. But I just want to ask you a few questions within books. As I said, chapter 2 and 3, you talk about the expression of obvious pain and also childhood loss in adult adventures. How would you explain the dilemma of pain, loss of childhood, and your adult adventures? How would you explain that?
You kind of like tackle the hardest chapters in the book. And those chapters were not easy to really put down. I shared a lot of tears. For many of you probably don't know or have heard about the time of Duvalier in the country, in Haiti. Like I mentioned earlier, so I was born and raised in Haiti. There was a time the country had faced a serious time where the country had lived under the dictatorship of both the father and son, Duvalier, and I think both of them stayed onto power for nearly 30 years.
Yeah, about 29 years.
At that time, the citizens of the country really kind of like faced a really hard time. And you have the so-called Tonton Macoute, which to me was a form of gang, but a more organized gang that Duvalier had put together. They were like Duvalier eyes. There was a lot of terror that people had to deal with. And the worst part, let's say, for example, if you and your beautiful wife, Lindy, went to a party and you see a guy who happened to be a Tonton Macoute, if that guy, want to spend the night with your wife at that moment, your wife that you took to a special event, if that Tonton Macoute want to spend the night with her, you will have no say. You had to surrender. And if you don't, you will be dead. And he will take your wife. So there are people who even have experience, upon leaving the church, a Tonton Macoute will see the beautiful wife coming out and just get the wife and leave you at the church door. So that's a life, that's the reality that people have lived, in the country during the Duvalier time. You have people, if you have a house, if you have any property or what have you, if one Tonton Macoute want to have it, and you tend to resist, something, you will be put in jail forever or you will be killed. And unfortunately, my mother was a casualty to that, regime.